Want to stop juggling spreadsheets, calendars, and a dozen apps just to run your rentals? Logify makes it easy. It's an all-in-one toolkit for hosts. Build a direct booking website, automate guest messaging, and keep all your channels in sync. Running your rental business your way has never been simpler. And for Good Morning Hospitality listeners, you can get 20% off any yearly plan with code GMH20. Just check the link in the show notes to get started today.
Welcome to Good Morning Hospitality, your one-stop shop for the latest news, noteworthy trends, and thought-provoking discussions across the industry. From hotels and short-term rentals to all things travel and hospitality, you'll find each episode equips you with the information you need to start your week. Join us on Good Morning Hospitality every Tuesday, wherever you get your podcasts. Hi, everyone. Welcome to Good Morning Hospitality Europe from the world famous VRMA.
Wait, Good Morning Hospitality Europe in Phoenix?
That's right, buddy. That's right. Who thought it? Who
would have thunk?
Yeah.
We got Leo to cross the pond.
So as you'll see, I've got the wonderful Will with me. So this is a mashup. The world's been waiting for this mashup, I think.
The best mashup we've seen all year. Probably.
Who knows?
It's got to be.
And because it's Good Morning Hospitality Europe, we couldn't not have on the guy who produces the most articles for the show, Mr. Paul Stevens.
Paul Stevens, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Do I actually produce the most news for your show?
Yeah, Paul.
I do watch every week. So
Yeah.
Between you guys and Skift, I have to give Skift, our good friends, a shout out, but you guys are great.
Yeah, I think our most kind of consistent. So if we're going like a journalist, like it's you for sure, but you're right, articles and Skift, and we use
I'm not competitive. That's all right.
I'm just trying to get him to watch the show every week. Like, please watch your episodes. So what we wanted to do is get a few people together who've come across the pond for the show. We're all slightly jet lagged and sunburned, although not too sunburned this time, I want to say.
Paul, were you at Pickleball?
Yes, I was at Pickleball, and I'm very grateful that at least half the court was in the shade.
At least half. It was still 110 degrees, but it was at least covered.
And for us, I think it's always great when you see your European friends at these US events, because obviously you're half jet lagged. It's like seeing friends from school, all of the new school. I always like to think. Paul's obviously such a good friend of the show. We wanted to get him on. Buddy, how you finding it so far?
Yeah, it's great to be here. It's my third VRMA, first time in Phoenix, and always good to see the mix of fresh faces and familiar ones as well. So been enjoying it so far. First day. I'm grateful to be out of the heat as well. It's a lot colder in.
As you can see, for those that aren't listening and watching, Paul's in a sweater. We are not. You could tell who's cold.
Are you not cold?
No, I'm sweating.
And I think it is warmer in the UK at the moment than it is in this room. You'll understand.
It's true. It's winter, isn't it? Let's get on to some news. Guys, here we are. We've been cocooned away in this very cold hall for a couple of days. It's a good way of putting it.
Yeah, it's good. That's nice. I feel cozy hearing that, yeah.
But the world outside is still, business is still happening. The world's still turning. Question to both of you, I think, Ashley, because you're going to have some interesting answers. What's caught your eye so far this year at VRMA? What do you think everyone's talking about? What's happening?
Well, I've just come out of a lunchtime session with Speedy Brew. They've been talking about their unpacked trends for 2024, 2025. And actually, I'm not supposed to be talking about any of that. But,
Do it.
Yeah, I think, well, first, I think just talking about events in general, I think it's really good that we're all here again. And just being here in person there to debate the key topics of the industry. I think this year more than ever, we need to be talking about how we can get together as an industry and talk about the difficult questions, particularly regulations is the key topic that is coming up for me time and time again. Different markets all over the world. I think we really need to unite as an industry and put together something that politics, society,
I think that's right. And I think that there will always be a short-term rental industry. There will always be an SDR market. The question is, are we going to be the people driving it? And are our companies going to be at the forefront of it? And undoubtedly, in my opinion, we will all get swept aside unless we face up to regulation and find ways to work within it and work with policymakers and reach across the aisle. like it's not going away. So regulation's not going away and neither is the industry. So we just got to make sure we're all fit and together on it because there's some really smart people in this room.
Yeah.
You know?
I agree. And one thing I've been thinking about and had some conversations this morning was around, I honestly believe hospitality is broken. And I know it's a weird statement. I know the answer is on how to fix it, but hospitality in general, if you look at all the technology vendors here, the way that we systemize things and all these systems and processes that we have to do, you have to have a property management software, you have to have this. And this is not saying not to do it. I'm just saying it's a little chaotic, I think, for a new operator, especially those who really get in for this to provide guest experience, to provide a fun environment for their team, to provide a good culture for employment. And we don't see a lot of that right now. A lot of industries or a lot of companies in our industry are kind of having a hard time.
Can I ask why do you think hospitality is broken then?
Well, just look at I don't want to go again. I'm not going against PMSs. I promise.
I think we can see.
But the property management softwares do hold the red tape on a lot of that data. And a lot of these vendors are starting to realize, what if we just stopped working with them and went through a different route? The channel management companies or other distribution channels have a lot of this data that we're not able to get access to due to an API connection, with everyone's APIs being so different and all this stuff. It's just there's no real streamlined process. And I think just a lot of operators are tired of having to bounce around to all these different vendors. And then, when they do want to change, it's pulling teeth just to get out. And, I think it's great, but that takes so much mental and financial bandwidth from a company that they're not able to provide good hospitality. They're not able to provide great culture because they're busy working on their financials, undoing or redoing tech that is supposed to be connected, but isn't, because you have to log into all these dashboards. And it's just, I think it's just kind of chaotic. So I don't know what the solution is. I'm not here providing answers, but I was having a lot of conversations this morning around it's kind of broken. We need to fix it. But I believe the people in this room are here to do that.
I'm exactly where you are. And I like the fact that you're saying, clearly if we had the answer, we'd be off and doing it.
Yeah.
But it's acknowledging that people's tech stacks are too convoluted, too complicated. And what are we doing? Are we adding to the problem or are we trying to alleviate the problem? And as business people, that's what you've always got to be thinking.
Yeah.
And what I would always say to people when I was getting into it is if a spreadsheet will do, then you use a spreadsheet.
Yeah.
And then obviously things get more complicated and you don't need to use a spreadsheet. You have to use something more complicated. And clearly now when you're starting in the market, what is it that you really need just to get going? What's the absolute essential you need to get going? And for me, it's actually before you even got to the point of starting to build technology, it's making sure that you really understand your market, because the most successful PMs and operators and people I know in the space, they really understand who their guest is, what market they're dominating, what they're trying to dominate, and that's going to give you a better type of guest. It's going to improve your ROI on each property, and then you can actually invest in your tech stack. So I don't know, any thoughts on that?
I think just first and foremost, we need to remember that we're a hospitality industry.
Yeah.
That's what it's always been, long before the advent of Airbnb in 2000.
Yeah.
And we're in a sort of transitionary period now when we're talking all about artificial intelligence, AI, and developing tech stacks. And I think, and that's all well and good. That's improving the guest experience and streamlining the process. But we also need to just have the hospitality element and the fact that our minds be tied. I'm sure that we are going to see a development to, mergers and acquisitions, and eventually we'll nail that product. No, we're just in that sort of transitionary period and we're trying to work out what those best products are. I think that's all I'm going to say more.
I also like the shout out to Well and Good.
Well and good. Well and good morning, baby.
We didn't tell him to do that. That was all natural. That was all natural.
Well and good. Well and good morning, coffee.
Got Paul take that. Not be on there.
I did want to ask Leo a question. Since that we're starting this show and this is the Europe crew version, I should not be talking a lot. If you notice on the video version, Leo has a new logo on his shirt. Leo, tell us about this logo and this name change of SuperHog to Truvi. Breaking news.
I was just doing the back. Well, thank you, Will. It's breaking news.
Breaking news.
Right? I can imagine if I did a hot take interviewing myself about the Let's try it.
Let's try it.
This is the first time about that.
All right, Leo, so tell.
Where is my embargo?
Great. So we're going to do, Paul's going to do a live. We're live here of how the article would come out. I see this, by the way.
When's the press release?
Yeah, we'll work on that. I'll work on that.
Seriously.
Right. So we, after a lot of soul searching, we wanted to change the name for a while. We've been in a process. We have been SuperHog since 2019, and we're ready to become Truvi. So Truvi is all about the fact that we're building trust. So we're creating trust within the industry for hosts and guests, and we also verify, and we also provide a way of generating income. So it's trust, verify, income, hence Truvi.
Trust, verify, and income. And you get Truvi. What a name. I love it.
Cool, right?
I like it. I like names that you can tell a story on. So it's like, all right, there's something cool. Like I always love when you meet a property manager here. I'm like, all right, outside of the destination name being the company name, it's like, how'd you come up with this? What was the initial? Tell me.
Yeah.
Tell me the juicy story. Tell me the drunken night that this name was made. That's what I want to know.
There's a tattoo coming.
Yeah.
The tattoo. Yeah, it's coming.
Oh, let's go.
Okay, fine. Shooting tattoos later. No, I think
Can we get, how much to get you a GMH tattoo?
just ask me.
Oh, let's go. You guys heard it here.
I want
You heard it here first. Okay, we'll get you a t-shirt.
But I think for us, we obviously, we've been in the market a long time. Some people love the name.
Yeah.
SuperHog. It's playful, it's fun. For us, it felt like a good moment to actually just be a bit more have it based in what we do and the value we add. And dare I say it? Oh, am I going to say it? Maybe be a bit more grown up.
Okay, I'm glad you said that. Leo, let's unpack this because I want your thoughts too, Paul.
Okay.
I was just talking with Matt Loney. Shout out to Matt Loney, who is the CEO of Explory, who is actually moving into a board position. He's moving on. So congrats to Matt. He's a super awesome legend. If you're listening to this, Matt, we love you. But I was talking to Matt this morning, and it just, if you look around the room, that's the one thing about VRMA is like, you get to see what's out there. You get to see who the big players are with the new companies, all the stuff. But I will be honest, some of these names, some of these brands, some of these designs need help, need a lot of work. It doesn't look professional. You look at, you got to look at the Marriotts, the Hiltons, the big brands that have been around so long, way longer than all of us, that have been doing it so good at such a scale that I think when you look at that, like obviously their logos were never perfect right out the gate, and there was a lot of iteration and growth, but we need to start thinking of growth and maturity for the industry. I know you were just talking about transitions, but this isn't the cottage industry anymore. This isn't a mom and pop. Like, yes, there's a lot of mom and pops, but there's some big players popping up. But Near, who we were just talking about the other day, like there's some brands that are coming out, and it's going to make every other property management company look childish, and not in a disrespectful way. Like you're saying, like kind of it's grown up.
Yeah, look, it's a big market. It's a growing market.
Yeah.
We know sentiment of short-term rental guests is like NPS of short-term rental guests is higher than hotel guests.
Yeah.
We're eating into the hotel vertical, but also we're part of the general hospitality vertical.
Yes.
We both said. So you want a product that could potentially cross over as well. So I agree. The clean lines.
Yeah.
Try and think bigger.
Yeah.
And ultimately, our clients is looking to be, all our clients are looking to be ambitious and grow their businesses.
Yeah.
So you need to provide a branding and a tool that makes them think that you could grow with them and you could handle that.
Yeah. When Humphrey told me about the name change last night, I was like, oh, really? Because humans, we're not ready for change. We don't want change. Change sucks. It's hard. It's scary because it's uncomfortable. But then like talking to you guys and seeing the logo and seeing the shirt, like, it's like, okay, like actually I do like it. Like it just takes a minute to realize. And when you said like grown up, it's like, oh, that's so awesome because you guys even realize that too. Like just SuperHog wasn't it anymore. You know,
it doesn't represent what we do. So I'm in an elevator with someone. Like, hi, I'm Leo from Truvi.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Yeah.
Trust, verify, income. So
what's your thoughts?
I think it's really interesting what you said there, and you're comparing it with the hotel segment. And we're perhaps slightly insular in this industry, and we know all these brands. But I did I did interviews on the streets of London a few months ago, and it was just interviewing members of the public about what short-term rental brands that they'd heard of. And literally the only names that people were mentioning to me unprompted were Airbnb and Booking.com.
True.
And
Truvi.
to be Truvi as well. but it really shows that there's still a long way to go with that brand loyalty. And we are seeing more loyalty schemes and membership schemes coming in. So I'm sure we're going to see more pivots and expansions of different schemes there. So overall, this is hopefully moving things in the right direction towards more professionalism.
I think that's right. And I think that by operators, you might have one listing. You might be a single host on a property that you own, or like your little tree house in the back garden, or you might have 500 listings.
Yeah.
Operators, I think, are really, over the last 2 years, but certainly now it's compounding, really aware that they need to be working on a broad base of marketing to catch their guest. And there's a real aversion to people saying it's the Airbnb industry, which I like.
Yeah.
Because Airbnb, it's a marketing channel.
Yeah.
If we go back to sort of COVID times, 2020, as the pandemic was just started, I don't want to sort of draw too long on it, but the first people that teams would perhaps get rid of or sort of cut down on was marketing. And I just think that is just not the right approach. We're still perhaps recovering slightly from that. And yeah, like I say, there's still a long way to go, and we need to, rethink our proposition for the wider traveler and try and bring in more demographics to this sector.
Paul, I'm glad that you said loyalty, because I was having a conversation with Matt Orley and from Red Cottage, and that was a big conversation, was loyalty. Like Marriott Bonvoy is the biggest loyalty program in hospitality from a lodging perspective, right? Like you can consider airlines and other stuff, but no one in the short-term rental has been able to master loyalty. And I was at the Unique Stays retreat hosted by Ben Wolf and Zach Boozy Cruz. And, there was operators there that were talking about, they had a 70% guest repeat rate. To have a 70% guest repeat rate at a unique stay property that most guests or travelers are going to want to experience once because they saw a cool Instagram reel, but then maybe not in the budget every year or whatever. But to have 70% and then to also find ways to get a membership, where Matt was telling me about their membership and it's $500 a year and they get discounts and all this other stuff. Like, what amazing P&L item to have on your books of a membership fee that you get to put towards actual things that aren't just commissioned from your nightly revenue. I'm really fired up about this topic because I think loyalty is such a missed opportunity for our space. It's just really, 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 really hard.
I'm really excited about one key that Expedia Group have brought out. And, the rollout was last year. They've just launched in the UK, and I know that there's plans for more expansion and rollout of that. But I think I'm really encouraged by the emphasis that Expedia Group and VRMA are really placing on this segment and putting that alongside hotels and the other verticals that they're working with. So, again, I go back to that transitionary period, but I'm hoping that this is going to be the first of many and really put short-term rentals into the mainstream, like we're saying.
I agree with you, Base. I think it's quite interesting that no one's nailed loyalty in the space. I think it's partly has to do with the fact that a hotel room and brand can be so easily repeated, right? It's rinse repeat, isn't it? And so the uniqueness of the SDR industry means it's challenging. But when someone does get it right, all just that crossover, right? So we talk about Marriott doing it and getting a hotel guest to come and use short-term rentals. So then it becomes very exciting. Let me take you back a point to think of it on a smaller level, though, and think that, again, I speak to customers all the time, I speak to hosts all the time, customers, non-customers, about the fact that if they really know their market, a lot of them have really good repeat. It's not coming into this conversation because you can't see it globally applicable. But they work out that there's a construction site 2 blocks away from one of their properties, and they go and they make a connection with them, and then they get that they get that repeat. And I think it's always worth focusing on what you can do locally.
Yeah.
To go and move the needle on a property.
Yeah.
I spoke to a guy, one of our clients in Chester. This is my hometown, by the way. Shout out to Chester.
Shout out Chester.
Hey, if we've got anyone listening in Chester, my mum will list.
Was that the first shout out to Chester?
Hi, Mum. He's taken on extra properties because he's going to win those construction contracts. I think while we're going through this quite challenging period in the industry with ADRs on the slides, like the length of stay coming down, the fact that you've got different types of guests, and again, options is really important. So I just like us to also be having those conversations. What you can do locally to move the needle. I don't know what you guys say.
Look, there's not in my backyard people, right? When it comes to regulatory issues, they're always like, no short-term rentals in my backyard. How about always in my backyard? If you're going to be local and you're going to be a host, like I can't say this because our properties are scattered throughout the country. But if I'm a local host with one property or two properties, I'm really giving it my all. Always my backyard. I'm checking with every brewery, every local grocery store that isn't like Safeway or whatever. And I'm going to be working those deals to find a guest, to find a partner, to find a special discount for my guests, like whatever it is. I'm all in. It's always my backyard.
You're a Yimby.
I'm a Yimby, baby.
Yeah.
Yimby.
You a Yimby?
I am now. I know. I like the sound of that actually. But I think, this industry is built on those hosts with, 1 to 10 properties, and we shouldn't forget that.
Yeah.
This is also a really collaborative industry. I mean, we talked about the partners that you work with on the show too.
Yeah.
I think, going back to events, we need to be reminded of that and work whatever is an industry to grow it.
Great. Awesome, Paul. Buddy, what else you got going on for the rest of the year?
So this is mid-October, so I'm right in preparations now for our second short-term rental summit coming up in London on Tuesday, November the 5th. I don't think anything is happening in the US on that date, but it's a very big week in London. Particularly, we've got this on the 5th of November, so the same week as Scale UK and World Travel Market, and it's meant to be a sort of, well, it's a summit, but it's also quite intimate in terms of we're looking at 90 to 100 people. We've got a really high quality agenda with speakers that you don't necessarily see on stage all the time. They're covering all the big topics, so regulations, M&A, investment, AI, debates about over-tourism. I think that's probably the key words that we've heard, the key buzzwords in travel in general this year. You've got CEO Preston time. We've got everything. We're really moving into this in-person thought leadership in this space. Really committed to that with coverage, and I think it's everyone's got to be there in London, and really looking forward to it. And actually, maybe you'll be there.
So 90 to 100 people. That sounds super intimate. I feel like that's another trend I'm seeing around the industry, that people are getting together and doing retreats.
Yes.
Which I love. Which I love because I feel like it's genuinely where we're focusing on education.
Yes.
That's, I think, the missing link. So I assume that's the vibe you're trying to go for, right?
Yeah, totally. I think we can approach things from a fresh angle. We are completely independent, and of course we want to work with these bodies, but we're open to giving a voice and a platform to everyone in this room who could be a full leader, and actually also promote and empower people to be full leaders and bring. So you do get different people on panels. You do get a nuance of perspective. I think that's really crucial, and that's how we go forward and innovate as a sector.
Nuance of opinion, really eloquent people. So I really like that. And that, I think, is what the smaller group stuff brings. You've got experience of this. Would you say that's true?
Yeah. Our Good Morning retreat that we hosted in July was awesome. And we actually just have officially booked our winter edition for January 13th through the 15th with
day before my birthday.
Oh, snap. So you're coming out, right?
Well, it's my 30th as well. Yeah, it is.
Happy birthday.
What a way.
You're a month older than me. We're about to have our dirty 30s on the same year. Dirty 30s. Yes. Yeah. But yeah, we're actually going to be hosting at Bolt Farm Treehouse in Tennessee. So yeah, really excited about it. I think it works out well because what we're thinking is like VRMA is great, but you have so little time to actually this is the longest we've chatted the whole conference, right? And so to have that, and then also ability to relax and not have the education, hey, go book a spa, go on this horseback riding trail, go do these things that are restful as an entrepreneur, because I think that's one thing we really emphasize the retreat. We want you to relax. We want you to have fun, but we also want to bring in people from the industry that you can talk shop and business and potentially partner and collaborate with. All right. I think that's where the beauty is. So,
and that's really good because otherwise you can spend your entire VRMA or entire conference, VRMA, writing down notes in your notebook. And you come back and you don't remember any of it.
Yeah. You'll overload. Yeah. So what about you? What's new? What's exciting? What's coming up?
Well, Truvi.
Truvi. Oh, yeah.
So I really, thanks for being so supportive about it.
Of course.
We're really excited about it. I'm really excited. No, it's just more of the same. It's just like growth, focusing on our core product, getting in the trenches like we always do. One more conference this year and then Christmas. But we're, we're a growing team now. We're at a different phase than we were at 2 years ago when we were scrabbling at every conference. Now we've got a broader spread of people, and I want to spread it around. I want different people to come and experience the conference because, we want everyone in our industry everyone in our business to really understand what the industry is all about. And there is no better place to come than to the live event. So great. And it means less travel for me, which means my family like me more than me.
I love it.
I've done before. Gang, we're out of time.
Close us out, Leo.
I've got to say, obviously it's great to collab with you, Will. But I really want to say, Paul, I'm going to let you say a few words as well. Paul, we reference you most weeks on the show. We love the content that you produce, and we love having you as a supporter of the show. So thank you for agreeing to come live with us.
No, thank you. Really, really appreciate it. I think it's great to see you guys now expanding into the Europe and giving us a voice too. And
well, you were the leader to it, so we're like, hey, let's get it with Paul.
Yeah, thank you again.
So you'll come back on?
Well, I've got to say yes now.
yes. Thank you. Okay, guys, if you've enjoyed the show, please hit like, share, subscribe in all the usual social places. We'll be all back as normal at our desk next week to do the normal show. But until then, take care. Bye.
Want to stop juggling spreadsheets, calendars, and a dozen apps just to run your rentals? Logify makes it easy. It's an all-in-one toolkit for hosts. Build a direct booking website, automate guest messaging, and keep all your channels in sync. Running your rental business your way has never been simpler. And for Good Morning Hospitality listeners, you can get 20% off any yearly plan with code GMH20. Just check the link in the show notes to get started today.